It's another K-Town beat.
YouTube. Today I got an interesting one for y'all. Y'all see this? This is where his lineup is supposed to be. Now, I showed that to him, right? I showed him, boom, this is where it's supposed to be. This is essential for you to do like a mini consultation right before you cut the hair, especially on the hairline part, because you don't want them to say, oh, you did this or that. But most of the time they tell you, hey, maybe they're going to tell you, hey, the last barber pushed me back, whatever, something like that, right? So in this instance, I was like, okay, I'm going to put your lineup where it's supposed to be. And as I do it, then I show him, he come back and he tell me, nah, I really want you to push it back some. I don't like it so close in. But this is really his, and it's not so close in if you ask me, but he wants me to push it back. You see that? You see how the edge up is? It's already off a lot, right? Even in the front. But you can see right here, boom, I'm telling him that's where it's supposed to be. You don't want that. You tell me, man, go ahead and push it back. So, in this video, I do not want to hear in the man, you pushing back all that. I know y'all gonna do it anyway, just cause, but you know, no, it's not. Look at this edge up. Look at what I'm working with. It's gonna take a lot to get this edge up the way I want to. And even though he want me to push him back, I ain't gonna push him all the way back. You feel me? You know, you have to do what the client tell you also, but I'm not gonna just push you all the way back. You know, one of my videos that's going viral right now is that it's a real small box edge up. You know what I'm saying? Because the client asked me to not push it back when I wanted to push it back. But you know, it's cool. It's going viral, and people commenting and saying a bunch of stuff, which is cool with me though. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you got to have that consultation. Now, on to the haircut. Now, first thing you want to do, I use the one guard and I use it open to do his waves. His hair is full, but it's thin a little bit in certain areas. So I wanted to use it open. So that's what I use all the way around the head. And with waves, you kind of just want to ride the heel of your clipper if you want to know how to like cut the waves without messing them up. And you ride the heel of the clipper. Also, you might have to work your way down some after you get a feel for the texture of the hair. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you can use something and it's not low enough or looking the way you want it to look. Everything is not laying down the way you want it. So you can adjust it that way, but I always start open. That's the main thing that I like to do. Also, on the front of the edge up, you do the same thing. You might want to knock it down so it's not just curled up. And I still have the one guard on here. Maybe it's a half guard that I used on here, but in the front you want to use something to make the lineup lay down, the area right in front to lay down, so when you get ready to do the lineup, everything is laying down and it's going to be crispy. Now, on this type of fade, we want to start our guideline right at the corner of the ear, right, the top part of the ear. If you watch, I'm gonna stay inside. Also, I'm gonna make it a little curved, little round, right, to get my guideline, because I want my fade to sit in this area, start in this area, right. That's the purpose of creating the guideline, right, and we clean them up. So that's the first thing. Then we come back. I'm gonna use no guard adjustable open against the grain, right? So I'm coming here and I'm really just lifting that line. I'm really lifting the line up, right? And using the corner of my blade also. Lifting the line and using the corner of my blade. As you can see, by me using the corner of the blade, it allows me to blend easier and not create a line. That's what using the corner of the blade does, right? See me also, I'm stretching the skin with my thumb on top. Make sure that you're always using two hands when you do things, right? So we got that. And I'm not going to even use a guard here to clean up anymore because of the way that I use the corner of the blade. I can manipulate my clipper to different sizes. Also, I can incorporate my clipper over comb. I always like to incorporate clipper over comb because it saves me time from stopping to get a guard and things of that nature, right? So we just want to, when you're doing a haircut, you want to do it the quickest way possible and most efficient. So a lot of times that's what I do. Like I minimize how many guards I use, right? How many steps I have to do. I want to minimize that, but I still want to get good results. And by me minimizing that and having better results, I can make more money per hour, right? So I can do 2 haircuts in an hour, right? And you can charge, let's say you charge $30, right? If you charge $30 an hour, $30 a haircut, you $60 an hour. So it's to your benefit to have a system to cut your hair fast enough, right? Well, not your hair, but the client's hair in an efficient time. But you still want to be not only fast but precise. And you see what I'm doing? I'm actually leaving hair there for me to line up to fade, but I've already kind of did like a mini line in the beginning, so I have something to work with. I can see, you know, like as I said, he wanted to push back, but I didn't want to push it all the way back. So I created a light guideline before I started the haircut good, right? And sometimes if you know the lineup is bad like that, you want to start with the lineup first, a light line, if you think it's going to be a problem, because sometimes the hair is so low that you might end up pushing it back if you don't create a guideline. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for you to see that way, right? And so right now I got this taper so fire. You see this blend is dope. This blend is amazing, ain't it? You know what I mean? So you can achieve it too if you just follow the same steps, do it the same way I did. Of course, hair texture plays a part. Now on this side we do the exact same thing. I just sped it up a little bit, but I want you to pay attention to the steps that I'm doing. Try to do them the exact same way so you can get the results that I'm getting, right? The exact same way.
It's another K-Town beat.
Now, and also once we get to the back, it's the same thing. You just, you know, you want to have your system. So I do the same thing all the way around the head, the same steps, the same motions, the same exact everything. And once you get that going, it's a system, it's a rhythm, and that's gonna allow you to become faster and more efficient. So just again, watch what I'm doing, figure out the system that I'm doing, and use it. And incorporate it into what you're doing if you're trying to get speed or if you're just trying to get a consistent look.
It's another K-Town beat.
Now on the lineup, we're gonna prep his line, right? We're gonna prep the line with using my Mr. Outliner Detail and Mist. Now, I'm gonna come out with an ebook on how to create a crispy lineup, right? Because there's a little more to it than what I show you on YouTube, right? On these videos, because it's a thought process to it. It's a couple other things to it. I don't want to give you everything, but it's a couple other things to it. And the detail and mist, it actually helps with that, but it's some other things you can do to make sure it's crispy every time, right? And you see, I can make crispy lineup without enhancements and stuff like that, but enhancements just make the haircut look better, right? If you want a natural haircut video, you can probably see my last video, that I did before this. It's the shadow fade, right? So doing a lineup, you just want to stay consistent with it too, right? And look, his lineup wasn't perfect, and it took me a little bit to adjust to this lineup because it was kind of warped, or you want to call it like it was low in some places, high in other places, low again, high, kind of like that, kind of like a little roller coaster in a way, right? But you have to take your time with it, and you see that I didn't push him all the way back. I brought him back just a little bit because I just didn't want to push him all the way back that way. But it kind of put me in a position where, dang, I gotta kind of push it back, and it's not natural for you to push it back. So I help him out. I use the enhancements, right? Because I want everything consistent. You can still see the gap. But because we had that gap and it's too thick in the front, then I had to use enhancements just to make it look the same, right? Because if I don't do that, then you'll see what a pushback was in the new growth, and that pretty much ain't what he want to see anyway, right? He wants it to be like that, as he said in the beginning of the video. So me, I just work with what I got. So this is the line, right? And I created, and using enhancements is just putting it on the line that you already have, that you already did before you put the enhancements on, right? And look how much better that looks, So it's not, I'm saying all this to say it's not about what you want, right? It's about what the client wants. It's about what the client wants to look like, what they expect to get from your pictures, things like that. So you have to remember that when you're doing these haircuts, right? I don't want to just show you the haircut video. I want to drop you some nuggets when I'm doing these videos, right? Hey, whatever your page look like, they saw your page or you saw your profile somewhere, and they expect to get a certain type of look. If you go to my Instagram page, y'all follow me on Instagram, Mr. Outliner, the same as my YouTube. If you want to know go look at my page. My page is crispy, right? So when they come to me, they expecting to get this lineup. They looking for a good haircut. Maybe not so much, oh, I want that fade. They want that line because that's what I do. That's what I push, and that's what I promote, right? Because that's what I'm known for. So when they come to me, they want that. And sometimes the only way to get that is with using enhancements too. And I charge for enhancements. Don't be against it. Make you some money off of it. I'm an old school barber, so it took me a while to adjust to that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like an easy thing for me. But once I adjusted, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to make some money off of it too. So, it's benefits to that. And like I said again, this is what they want. And also remember, they're looking at other barbers' pages, right? They're looking at other barbers' pages. So the other barbers, he's giving them that, right? You don't want to miss out on money trying not to do something, right? Especially if you can become good at it like I did, right? So always remember that, right? And it might not be your main thing, but that's why it's separate. It's not standard that it comes with my haircuts. You can get a regular haircut without the enhancement, right? You can still get a sharp line without the enhancement, a natural sharp line. It might not look as full. Only thing the hair fiber does is make it look fuller, right? And again, this edge up was really tricky for me. But, I still made it happen. I still made it work, because I took my time, basically, and you can see how much time I took on this edge up because I knew it was a challenge already, and I knew what I wanted it to look like, right? So that's another thing when you're doing the lineup, you have to take your time, period. No matter what, right? You have to take your time. That's the main thing. Heads are not always shaped, flat, and perfect, right? And at the end of the day, he liked it, and I I was glad he liked it. But I knew I could make it look good. That wasn't even an issue for me. But I knew it was gonna be challenging. But that's the part of the job that I like. I kind of like the challenge. I hate when everything is so cookie cutter the same. But anyway, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know how we do it. Until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Make sure you follow me on IG, Mr. Outliner. The same way, at Mr. Outliner. See y'all next time.